Welcome to the deep dive. You know, we love to get into the weeds around here, and today we're diving into the world of artificial intelligence. But not just any AI.
Right.
We're specifically looking at how AI is set to transform K-12 education right here in California.
Right.
You know, maybe you're an educator yourself, maybe you're a parent, or just fascinated by the future of learning, but either way, this deep dive is for you.
Absolutely. And what's so interesting is that California is taking a very proactive stance on this.
Uh-huh.
They're not just talking about using AI in schools. They're also focused on educating students about AI, how it works, its potential and its limitations. And we've got some great resources from the California Department of Education to help us unpack this.
Okay.
Things like their AI resource kit and excerpts from Learning with AI, learning about AI.
Perfect. So before we get into the specifics of classrooms, let's just talk about AI in general.
Sure.
I mean, it feels like it's everywhere these days, right?
Yeah.
From virtual assistants to personalized social media feeds.
Hmm.
It's almost like AI is quietly running the show behind the scenes.
Well, in a way, it is AI thrives on data.
Okay.
Think of it as this incredibly fast learner, constantly absorbing information spotting patterns and using those patterns to make predictions or decisions.
Interesting.
That's essentially what machine learning is all about.
That's a great analogy. So connecting this back to education, the California Department of Education is really emphasizing the importance of understanding how WAI gets these results.
Right.
It's not about seeing AI as some magical black box.
Yeah.
Both educators and students need to grasp the mechanisms behind it.
Exactly. And this ties into the bigger picture.
Okay.
The World Economic Forum predicts that a whopping 1.1 billion jobs will be transformed by technology like AI within the next decade.
Wow.
So whether you're thinking about your own career or your children's future, understanding AI and its implications is becoming absolutely essential.
That is a huge number. So let's bring this down to the school level. How is AI actually going to change the learning experience in California? I mean, the California Department of Education is painting a picture of classrooms where AI personalizes lessons, adapting to individual student needs. Talk about tailoring education.
It is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Imagine a classroom where AI tutors can provide personalized support, adjust the difficulty of tasks based on real-time performance, and offer targeted interventions for students who need extra help.
Oh, yeah.
AI could also help bridge the digital divide, making learning more accessible for multilingual learners and students with disabilities.
So we're talking about classrooms where AI can actually help create a more equitable and inclusive learning environment.
Precisely. And it's not just about leveling the playing field.
Yeah.
Think about all the administrative tasks that AI could automate for teachers,
Oh, right.
freeing up their time to focus on what they do best, connecting with their students and fostering a love of learning.
That's a crucial point. The California Department of Education is very clear that AI should be a tool to enhance, not replace the human element of teaching.
Absolutely. AI can help create a more dynamic and engaging learning environment, but it's the teacher who brings passion, creativity, and that irreplaceable human connection to the classroom.
Now, I know what some of our listeners might be thinking at this point. All this talk about data and personalized learning sounds great. But what about data privacy? It's a valid concern, especially when we're talking about children's data.
Absolutely. Data privacy is paramount. And the California Department of Education is very upfront about this. They are committed to ensuring that any AI systems used in schools comply with all relevant privacy laws,
Okay.
like COPA and FERPA, which are specifically designed to protect student data.
So they're not just advocating for the use of AI, they're also putting safeguards in place to make sure it's used responsibly and ethically.
Exactly. They even suggest involving students in the creation of ethical use policies, teaching them about digital citizenship and responsible AI use from an early age.
Okay, so we've talked about the broad strokes of AI in education, but let's get a bit more specific. What are some tangible examples of how AI tools can actually be used in the classroom?
The possibilities are really exciting. Imagine personalized learning materials that adapt to each student's pace and learning style.
Mm-hmm.
AI could also provide targeted interventions for students who are struggling, offering extra support or practice in specific areas.
And let's not forget about the potential for AI-powered text-to-speech and translation capability.
Oh, yeah.
That could be a game changer for students with learning differences
Hmm.
or those who are English language learners.
You're absolutely right. It's about using AI to create a truly inclusive learning environment where every student has the opportunity to thrive.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just about what they're learning, but how they're learning. AI can help students develop critical thinking, problem solving, and digital literacy.
Yeah.
all skills that are essential for success in the 21st century.
It sounds like AI has the potential to really empower learners and create a more personalized and engaging learning experience.
It really does. But it's important to remember that we're not just talking about learning with AI.
Right.
The California Department of Education also stresses the importance of learning about AI. They want students to understand how this technology works, how to create it, and how to think critically about its implications.
So it's like a two-pronged approach, learning with AI as a tool to enhance learning,
Yes.
and learning about AI to become informed and responsible citizens in an AI-driven world.
Exactly. The CDE has even outlined what they call the 5 big ideas of AI as a framework for teaching about AI.
Okay.
These include things like perception, representation, and reasoning, learning, natural interaction, and societal impact.
It sounds like a comprehensive approach to giving students a holistic understanding of AI,
Mm,
from its technical inner workings to its broader societal implications.
that's right. And this is where it gets really interesting. The CDE emphasizes the importance of making sure AI education reaches everyone,
Mhm.
especially students from traditionally underrepresented groups. This is about ensuring that the future of AI is shaped by diverse perspectives and voices.
So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about using this technology to create a more equitable and inclusive future for all learners.
I think so.
This has been fascinating. But you know what? We need to take a quick break. We'll be right back in just a moment to delve into some of the potential concerns about AI in education,
Okay.
as well as some inspiring examples of how California schools are already embracing this technology. Stay with us. So, we were just talking about how important it is to make sure AI education reaches everyone, especially students from traditionally underrepresented groups.
Yeah.
And that makes a lot of sense, right? We want to ensure that the future of AI is shaped by diverse perspectives, but I know some of our listeners might be wondering about the potential impact of AI on, well, human connection.
It's a really good point.
Mhm.
As AI becomes more integrated into our lives, it's natural to wonder about its impact on human interaction, especially in the context of education.
Right. Some people might worry that relying too heavily on AI could lead to less face-to-face interaction, and negatively impact students' social and emotional development.
It's a valid concern for sure, and one that the California Department of Education takes seriously. They explicitly emphasize the importance of maintaining strong teacher-student relationships and creating opportunities for peer-to-peer collaboration in the classroom. They see AI as a tool to enhance, not replace, these essential human connections.
That's reassuring to hear because let's face it, learning isn't just about absorbing information, it's about developing social skills,
Hmm.
empathy, and the ability to collaborate effectively with others.
Absolutely. And that's where the teacher's role becomes even more crucial. As AI takes on more of the routine tasks, teachers can devote more time and energy to fostering those interpersonal skills and creating a supportive and engaging learning environment.
So it's not about choosing between AI and human connection, it's about finding the right balance and using AI to complement and enhance the human element of teaching.
Exactly. And that balance is key. The CDE acknowledges that we need to be mindful of potential issues that can arise with AI, like algorithmic bias.
That's something I've heard a lot about. The idea that algorithms can inadvertently perpetuate existing biases, which can lead to unfair or discriminatory outcomes.
It's a serious issue and one that requires careful attention. We need to ensure that the AI systems used in schools are developed and implemented in a way that promotes fairness and equity for all students.
It sounds like California is really trying to be proactive in addressing these potential concerns.
They are, and in fact, the CDE highlights some inspiring examples of how schools across California are already embracing AI in thoughtful and innovative ways.
Oh, tell me more about that. I love hearing about real-world applications of AI in education.
One great example is the San Bernardino County Superintendent of Schools. They've been very proactive in providing professional development for educators on AI. They're equipping teachers with the knowledge and skills to use AI effectively in their classrooms, while also addressing the ethical considerations.
So it's not just about how to use the tools, it's about understanding the broader implications and potential pitfalls as well.
Exactly. They're really focused on preparing both teachers and students for a future where AI is going to be an integral part of life.
That's so important because AI isn't just some abstract concept anymore. It's becoming woven into the fabric of our society. We need to be prepared to engage with it thoughtfully and responsibly.
Another impressive example is the San Gabriel Unified School District. They actually use the CDE's AI guidance to create their own comprehensive AI guidelines, ensuring they align with their community's needs and values.
That's fantastic. So they're taking the state-level guidance and tailoring it to fit their specific context.
And they involved a diverse group of stakeholders, teachers, administrators, staff, and community members to ensure that everyone had a voice in shaping these guidelines.
It sounds like California is really taking a leadership role when it comes to responsible AI implementation in education. I mean, it's clear that the CDE is working closely with educators, administrators, and even students to make sure that AI is used in a way that benefits everyone and creates a more equitable and inclusive learning environment.
Absolutely. But it's important to remember that this is just the beginning. AI is a rapidly evolving field, and we're still in the early stages of exploring its potential in education.
It's almost like we're standing at the edge of a new frontier, and we're not quite sure what we'll discover as we venture further into this AI-powered world.
It's an exciting time to be involved in education. But as with any new frontier, there are going to be challenges and unexpected turns along the way. We need to be prepared to adapt, to learn, and to constantly reassess our approach as AI continues to evolve.
That's a great point. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm curious, what are some of the key takeaways you hope our listeners will walk away with today? As we've been talking about AI in education, I keep coming back to the California Department of Education's focus on AI, not as a replacement, but as like a tool for empowerment, you know?
Yeah.
It's exciting to consider how AI can help students take charge of their own learning journey.
I think so. Think about students using AI tools to explore topics that deeply interest them. Digging deeper into subjects at their own pace, and even designing personalized learning paths.
Right.
It's about moving away from that one-size-fits-all model
Yeah.
and embracing the unique needs and passions of each learner.
And it's not just about individual empowerment. AI can also be a force for bridging the digital divide.
That's right.
We talked about how AI can help create more inclusive learning environments for students with disabilities or those who are English language learners.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Imagine AI-powered translation tools breaking down language barriers in real time.
Wow.
Or assistive technologies enabling students with learning differences to access information and participate in classroom activities in ways that were previously unimaginable.
Right.
These are the kinds of advancements that have the potential to transform lives.
It's inspiring to consider how AI can be used to level the playing field and create a more equitable educational landscape for all students. But as we wrap up this deep dive, I think it's important to acknowledge that with all this talk of AI's potential, there are also some valid concerns that need to be addressed.
Absolutely. We've touched on issues like data privacy and algorithmic bias, and those are certainly things we need to be vigilant about. But
Yeah.
as AI becomes more integrated into our lives, it's going to be crucial to have open and honest conversations about its ethical implications.
Right, and those conversations need to involve everyone, educators, parents, students, policymakers, because the decisions we make about AI today will have a huge impact on the world of tomorrow.
You're right. It's about fostering a sense of collective responsibility. We all have a role to play in shaping the future of AI and ensuring that it's used in ways that benefit humanity as a whole.
So for our listeners who are eager to learn more about this fascinating topic, what are some good resources they can check out?
The California Department of Education website is an excellent place to start. They have a wealth of information on their AI initiatives, including those fantastic webinars we mentioned earlier.
And don't hesitate to reach out to your local school district to see what they're doing to incorporate AI into their curriculum and to address the ethical considerations that come with it.
Yeah, ultimately, this is a journey we're all on together. The future of education and perhaps even society as a whole is going to be shaped by how we choose to engage with AI, and the more informed and engaged we are, the better equipped we'll be to navigate this uncharted territory.
Well said. So to our listeners, we encourage you to stay curious, stay informed, and stay engaged in this important conversation. AI is a powerful tool, and together we can ensure that it's used to create a more equitable, inclusive, and empowering future for all learners. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into AI in California's K-12 education.